Debt is not a punishment, it's a mirror. A mirror reflecting your relationship with worth, safety, and desire. Most people see debt as failure, a stain on their character, something to be ashamed of, hidden behind tight smiles and frantic repayment plans. But debt isn't moral, it's metaphorical. It's a map of where your nervous system didn't feel safe having money, where your relationship with abundance fractured. And in this video, we're going to unpack all of that. By the end, you'll understand why you fall into debt cycles, what those habits are actually mirroring back to you, and how to begin untangling the emotional and energetic roots beneath it so you can finally feel free, not frantic. So stick around because this might just change the way you see debt and yourself forever. Let's begin with the uncomfortable bit. For many people, especially under earners or chronic overgivers, life without debt feels like dinner without dessert, too big a sacrifice to make. There's this absurd logic that says, what's there to look forward to if I can't spend? The craving for that next purchase becomes a balm for something so much deeper: emptiness, boredom, emotional starvation. So we swipe, we borrow, we spend, trying to fill the void that can't be filled with things. Debt isn't just numbers on a screen, it's energy. It's a messenger showing you where you've confused comfort with nourishment, where you've mistaken spending for self care, where you've tried to buy back your worth. Let's start with the mirror first, the mirror of worthiness. Debt often reveals where you've tried to buy validation, love, or identity. It's basically the money shame wound in disguise. When you don't believe you're worthy of wealth, you find back doors to it, like borrowing. You borrow to feel what you think rich people feel: safety, ease, belonging, but it's counterfeit energy. Because if you felt worthy of receiving directly, you wouldn't need to borrow it to experience having, right? Debt whispers you didn't feel allowed to have, so you found another way to touch it. And that in itself is tragic, but also illuminating because it shows you exactly where to start forgiving yourself. Then there's the mirror of avoidance. Debt piles up when we feel unsafe facing money, the numbers, the bills, the reality of our situation, the gravity of our situation. You'd rather avoid it than confront the discomfort. You tell yourself you'll check the balance tomorrow, that next month you budget properly. That is not so bad. But avoidance is just another form of self abandonment. Debt mirrors the places where you desert yourself, where the child in you feels too frightened to open the letter, too anxious to look at the statement, because somewhere deep down you still associate money with danger, chaos, punishment, and you think that if you ignore it, it can't hurt you. But of course it can, because avoidance costs interest, emotionally and financially. Then comes the mirror of desire. Sometimes debt isn't about shame or fear, it's about hunger. The hunger for beauty, luxury, expansion, for the life that feels alive. And when that hunger collides with guilt, the kind that says, who am I to want that? You create debt as a loophole. You're feeding the parts of you that were starved, but without the inner permission to truly own it. So, debt becomes the shadow side of suppressed desire. You buy the dress, the bag, the trip, not because you're greedy, but because you're trying to reclaim something sacred, your right to want. You're saying, I deserve to feel good, but you're saying it through a transaction instead of embodiment. And that's why paying off debt isn't just a financial act, it's a self-forgiveness ritual. It's not punishment, it's literally reconciliation. Then we meet the mirror of control. This one's the hardest to swallow because there's a system that thrives on your shame. Yes, a system meticulously designed to keep you indebted, not just financially, but psychologically. Debt is how the system profits from your self hate, from your exhaustion, from your belief that you must overwork, overprove, overgive to earn rest. It's insidious. They dangle instant gratification while selling you lifetime servitude. And all the while, they whisper that it's your fault, that you're lazy, undisciplined, stupid. The debt industry feeds off the belief that you're not worthy of financial freedom. Because a person who believes they are unworthy will always pay more in money, time, and life force. So when you begin shifting your relationship with debt, you're not just healing your bank account, you're rebelling against an entire system built to keep you small. Now let's make this practical. Debt is a mirror. So the work is not to hate the reflection, it's to decode it. Ask yourself, what was I trying to feel when I created this debt? What emotion was I unwilling to face? Where was I seeking love, validation, or safety through overspending? Overspending. And then forgive yourself because self-punishment keeps you paying interest forever. Here's what most people don't understand. Deprivation is just the other side of the same coin. You can't heal overspending with self-denial. Spending less doesn't mean misery. It means meeting your needs consciously instead of chaotically. It's not about cutting out pleasure, it's about cutting out self-betrayal. There's a world of difference between restraint and repression, between financial prudence and emotional starvation. If you swing to extremes, reckless indulgence or rigid deprivation, which is where I've lived most of my life, deprivation, you're still in the same wound, just on different ends of the pendulum. Debt isn't a down blanket, it's a drain. It shows you where your energy is leaking through guilt, shame, or the compulsive need to self-soothe. But once you understand what your debt is trying to tell you, you can begin to change the pattern instead of reliving it, repeating it. So if you're in debt right now, don't spiral into shame. Look at it with brutal honesty and curiosity, because every number on that statement tells a story of longing, of avoidance, of a desire to feel safe, seen, or loved. Debt is not the enemy, it's a mirror. And like all mirrors, it doesn't judge you. It simply reflects the parts of you waiting to be acknowledged and seen and loved. When you heal those parts, you'll find that money starts responding differently. It stops running away from you. It starts working for you. Because once you believe you're worthy of financial freedom, once you stop running from yourself, there's nothing left to fear and nothing left to owe. So I hope this video has helped you heal your relationship with money. And if you haven't yet taken my free money wound quiz, I highly recommend you take it because it will reveal your main subconscious block around money. And that's half of the healing, to become aware. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe. Remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you love, and I will see you in HFE.